NASA's Flying Research Laboratory based out of NASA Armstrong Center. Say hi, flight crew. All right. Right here, we have the snow radar. The science team is still loading up and getting ready. You say hi, radar team.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about what you study.
I study computer science at the University of Kansas.
Great. And what are you doing on the plane?
I'm helping with the data processing efforts.
Sure. And Dr. Dooley, what do you study?
I'm studying electrical engineering, and I'm interested in radar data interpretation, synchro, and data processing.
What does that tell us about Antarctica and the snow cover and what Operation IceBridge is studying?
So the IceBridge basically is using our radars to measure the ice thickness, the slow thickness, and the ice bed topography, and so that scientists can estimate
We're going to put some rocks in your pocket.
the ice sheet
blow my head out.
balance response to the global climate change.
Thank you, that's perfect. All right, let's see who else is on board. Here's Aaron. What are you getting ready to take during the flight, Aaron?
So I work with the data system of the radars. So the radars write over 10 gig fiber to my system, which then in turn duplicates it and backs it up.
Perfect. And this is for this radar, snow radar as well?
Snow radar and M-cords as well.
And what is M-cords?
M-cords is the radar depth sounder. So snow shows you the layers in the top. The M-cords depth sounder goes all the way to the bedrock, hits the bottom, comes back up, shows you how deep the ice is and what the underground looks like, which helps scientists map what the ice is going to do. As long as the longest we've detected is about 5 kilometers or so underneath the ice in Antarctica.
Wow, 5 kilometers below the ice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Next up, we have Lynette. She's one of our deputy project scientists for IceBridge. Lynette, can you tell us a little bit about the flight we flew Saturday?
Yeah, so on Saturday we did a really cool historic IceBridge flight. So overnight we wanted
That's the one in the back there.
the first time that we flew under IceSat 2. IceSat 2 flew over us in flight, so it was really exciting, and yeah, collected some good data there.
What is the purpose of IceSat 2 and IceBridge flying at the same time together?
So we wanted to be flying over the same surface at the same time because science moves around, so you can't do long latency
This is
flights
our,
there. So the exciting part is that we
This is like our,
got
what do you call it?
coincident measurements of the sea ice. So
this is how I remote
using
control
CalVal with IceSat 2.
So,
Can you explain what CalVal is?
Just
so I turn,
well,
so this guy,
we
I
have
turn it on,
lasers on board that are similar
and then
to
I
on
open this
IceSat
up,
2,
and I open it up,
and so we want to make sure that we're getting the same kind of returns.
and so it's like I have a
information
KVM
on the
console.
sea ice.
on
Perfect,
this.
thank you. And moving forward, right here we have the gravimeter, which is an instrument that measures the bedrock of Antarctica and actually measures Earth's gravity field as we fly. Heading up, here's Brooke Medley, our other deputy project scientist for IceBridge. Brooke, can you talk about what we're flying today?
Yes, so today is actually a really exciting mission because it's one of our 8 remaining baseline missions, and baseline missions are our highest priority missions. Specifically, we're going to go very far south, specifically right along the 88 degrees south line of latitude. And why is that important? Well, that's actually the southernmost extent of all the ground tracks for IceSat 2. And so what this flight means is that we're actually going to be able to survey about 1/3 of the entire 88 degree latitude, which means we can sample 1/3 of every single IceSat 2 ground track that exists. So it's going to be a really fantastic validation, calibration flight for us, and I think everyone on board is super excited to get it done.
And for people who don't know what 88 South, what are we headed towards when we're headed south from there?
Oh, well, 88 degrees south is about 220 kilometers away from the South Pole. So, I mean, when we're going south, we're going extremely far south. This is a very long flight. It'll be about 5 hours of transit and only about 1.5 hours or so of actual survey time. So that's just how important this mission is that we're willing to sacrifice a little bit of survey time in order to just reach this area. So it's very, very far south, but it's of extreme importance for both missions.
Talk a little bit about how we do these surveys. When we get down there, you said we're in transit. What happens after we drop out of transit?
So basically, we're going from about 30,000 feet all the way down to 1,500 feet. So we're flying very, very low. And that's essentially for the instruments themselves. They operate the best at these lowest altitudes. And it really provides the highest quality data that we can possibly get once we get down low. We do the entire survey track, and then when we finish, we rapidly climb out again and back up to 30,000 feet, turn around and come right back, and then we'll do it again tomorrow. So these are grueling 12-hour days, but we have the best team that on the planet, essentially, and so I think everyone is just really excited to get this mission accomplished and move on to the next one.
Perfect, thank you. I'm gonna go see if our ATM team wants to talk about our LiDAR on board. John and Jim, do you want to tell us a little bit about the airborne topographic mapper on board?
Yes, we have two airborne topographic mapper LiDARs on board. Both of them use lasers firing at 10,000 hertz, and we time the pulse of light from the aircraft to the ground and back again to create a really high-resolution elevation map of whatever we're flying over.
You mentioned a little bit about the timing. Can you sort of do a demonstration of how that works?
Sure. We know where the aircraft is in space due to the GPS systems that John Sontag runs up forward. We know the attitude of the aircraft, how it's sitting in the air, pitch, roll, and heading from the laser gyros that are on board the aircraft. We know which way our laser scanner is pointed at any given laser shot, and we can time the pulse of light from the aircraft to the ground and back. We know the speed of light in the air, so we can calculate where the ground had to be to satisfy all those criteria.
So it works a little bit like a sonar?
A little bit like a sonar, but using light instead of sound to locate the surface, and our accuracy is about 5 centimeters, or about the size of a tennis ball, in latitude, longitude, and elevation. So it's a very, very accurate system considering we're moving at 250 knots, 1,500 feet above the ice surface.
Perfect. So some of our viewers are asking, what is a survey track? We've been using that word and haven't explained what that actually means.
We have the two LiDAR systems here are scanning, so they map a swath underneath the aircraft. And hopefully today our swath will overlay with many ICEP-2 orbits, and we can compare the airborne data to the ICEP-2 data up there. So the way I think of it is, we're doing a wide path underneath the aircraft.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jim.
Sure.
I'm going to come down and see if John can tell us a little bit about how we pick where we're setting. John, can I interrupt you
We're going to have that
this morning? Sorry about that.
So yes, that's the one I've been using. Okay. And that's been working.
This is our science and flight team getting ready for takeoff. We're just a few minutes away. Here's where our mission managers sit. And here's the rack, our science rack. Sure am. John, can you tell us a little bit about how we picked to fly the South Pole flight today?
Yeah, so it's one of our baseline missions, as Brooke was saying. We have 10 of those, which means they're our highest priority missions at the moment. And we've only flown 2 of them before today. So this is our third baseline mission, making a very important flight. It's important, I think, as Brooke said, because it hits about a third of all ICEP-2 orbits, which means we can use it as a very powerful calibration technique for the spacecraft. We chose it today. You always have your baseline missions at the top of your priority list, so basically it's a matter of looking at weather. And the weather of the pole has been fairly good lately, not bad, but the problem with the pole in most days this time of year is it's so cold there that it's so cold there that any moisture that's in the atmosphere at all instantly wants to condense out and form a haze, fog, winds, and that sort of thing. Today's the first day we've had, really, since we've been here, that we haven't had that condition. It's very, very dry conditions. There's a high pressure edge pointing at the pole from the East St. Lawrence Plateau. So just an ideal weather situation for it. The forecast looked good last night. The weather was good this morning. It's going to be a good day.
Perfect. Thank you so much, John. All right, everyone, our flight techs are closing the plane door, which means it's time to buckle up and get ready to take off for Antarctica. Remember, if you're curious about NASA Explorers and how we're studying the cryosphere, we're talking about it on our new NASA Explorers digital series. Tomorrow, we're talking about snow, and you can tune in and learn more. Thank you.